I think I see a big parallel. I think people really see a big parallel. A lot of people are talking about that, and not only the United States but other countries. People want to take their country back. They want to have independence in a sense, and you see it with Europe, all over Europe. You're going to have more than just, in my opinion, more than just what happened last night. You're going to have, I think, many other cases where they want to take their borders back. They want to take their monetary back. They want to take a lot of things back. They want to be able to have a country again. So I think you're going to have this happen more and more. I really believe that, and I think it's happening in the United States. It's happening by the fact that I've done so well in the polls. You look at the recent polling, and you look at the swing states, and you see how I'm doing. And I haven't even started my campaign yet, essentially. I mean, we've done very well. We're raising a lot of money for the Republican Party. I'm going to be funding a lot myself, but we're raising a lot of money, John, for the Republican Party, and you'll see those numbers come out in over the next 30 days, and in particular 60 days. The numbers that were put out last week were just a very start. That was a very small period of time just to start, but we have raised a lot of money, especially money coming in from small donors. You'll be amazed when you see the kind of numbers we're talking about, because we were amazed, and I was amazed. But that'll be reported fairly soon. But I really do see a parallel between what's happening in the United States and what's happening here. People want to see borders. They don't necessarily want people pouring into their country that they don't know who they are and where they come from. They have no idea. And I think, you know, it not only did it win, but it won by a much bigger margin than people thought it would happen.
And how would your administration approach the Brexit? Again, the question of Scotland.
Well, you just have to embrace it. It's the will of the people. You know, it's not a question of approaching it. It's the will of the people. It's always the will of the people. Ultimately, that wins out. Right. Well, nobody knows. Look, if the pound goes down, they're going to do more business. You know, when the pound goes down, more people are coming to Turnberry, frankly. And the pound has gone down. And let's see what the impact of that has. But I think places like Scotland and England and different places in Great Britain, I think you're going to see a lot of activity. The pound got high, and people weren't able to do maybe what they wanted to do. But for traveling and for other things, you know, I think it could very well turn out to be a positive. Nobody really knows. You'll know in about 5 years. You'll be able to analyze it, and maybe it'll take even longer than that. But what is known is that they've taken back their independence. And that's a very, very important thing. Yeah, Katie?
Momentous right now, and you are on the world stage. Are you traveling with any of your foreign policy advisors? You knew this was going to happen today. There was going to be some sort of decision. Are you huddling with them to find out what the best way?
Well, I've been in touch with them, but there's nothing to talk about. You know, I've been saying that I would prefer what happened. I thought this would be a good thing. I think it'll turn out to be a good thing. Maybe short-term not, but ultimately I think it will be a good thing. And I've actually been in touch, and some, by the way, don't like it, and some do like it. You know, they're advisors. They're like everybody else. They probably know less. Every one of these advisors. Somebody said, gee, you should use advisors that have been really hot for the last 5 years. I said, really? I think I want to use ones that haven't been involved. Take a look at what's happened in the world. Go ahead, Kitty.
We've had a special relationship, the U.S. and the U.K., for quite some time now. But with this vote, their standing in the world, their standing in Europe will certainly be diminished. Their influence will be diminished. Will they still be the first call for you, for the U.S.?
Well, look, I don't know, first call or second call. There'll be a very powerful call. It's going to be a great relationship. There'll be great allies. They always have been. And I think zero will change on that score. There's never been a better ally, and I think nothing will change on that score, Katie. Well, President Obama did say, I guess, that they should move to the back of the line. That wouldn't happen with me. The UK has been such a great ally for so long. They'll always be at the front of the line. They've been amazing allies in good times and in bad times. And sometimes they make mistakes together, but as we know, but they've always been great allies. So I will tell you, I think that I was very surprised when I heard President Obama say that. And I think he said that because he thought for sure it was going to stay together, but it didn't stay together. And I felt it wouldn't stay together. And again, I think that's what's happening in the United States. It's not staying together. It's a really positive force taking place. They want to take their country back. The people want their country back. We don't want to lose our jobs. We don't want to lose our borders. They want to have wage increases. They haven't in the United States, folks, for the members and all of my members at Turnberry. I mean, we've had hard-working, great people that haven't had a real wage increase in 18 years. So they're working harder now and they're making less money. So go ahead.
I mean, the Treasury Secretary, the Fed Chairwoman have both said they expect this, if the Brexit was successful, to have a negative impact on the U.S. economy. Are you worried about that at all?
Sarah, they don't know. I mean, look, we're going to have to see how it plays out. What I like is that I love to see people take their country back. And that's really what's happening in the United States, and I think you see that. And that's what's happening in many other places in the world. They're tired of it. They want to take their countries back. And, you know, this isn't such a phenomenon like some people are saying. And when people ask me what I thought was going to happen, as you know, I said, I think they're going to break away. And it's just turned out that way. And it was a little bit surprising because the polls indicated probably that it wouldn't happen, 80%. And when I landed this morning, the first thing I asked is that. And, I mean, it was fairly close, but it wasn't that close. So we'll see what happens. I think it'll be a good thing. You're taking your country back. You're going to let people that you want into your country. And people that you don't want or people that you don't think are going to be appropriate for your country or good for your country, you're not going to have to take. And, you know, look, Europe, like the United States, has made tremendous mistakes over the last period of time. You look at Germany, you look at some of the things that are happening. There have been tremendous mistakes that have been made. So I think it's going to end up being a very good thing, but it'll take time. Okay.
Mr. Trump?
Yeah, Tom?
Your campaign has gotten global attention. All over the world, people know who Donald Trump is and your campaign for president. Do you think anything you said in the United States influenced voters here in Britain when it comes to leaving the EU?
It's a good question. If I said yes, total influence, they'd all say, that's terrible. His ego is terrible, right? So I will never say that, Tom. I'd like to give you that one, but I can't say that. And, you know, look, the question was, what do I think? And I gave my opinion a few times over the last few months. But I also said I really don't want people to listen to it because it's not me. It's about them. It's about them. It's their country. But my opinion is that what happened should have happened. And I think they'll end up being stronger for it. And they'll control their country and they'll control everything about their country. Yes.
Amanda Walker, Sky News. David Cameron said that you were wrong when you proposed banning Muslims from entering the US. Do you think he got the mood of his country wrong, and do you think he was right to resign?
Well, I like David Cameron, and he had a couple of rough statements, but that's okay. I think David Cameron's a good man. He was wrong on this. He didn't get the mood of his country right. He was surprised. I think he was very surprised to see what happened. But he's a good man, and he felt that way, and probably did the right thing. But we'll see what happens. But I like David Cameron.